Normal gay reacts to woke LGBTQ TikToks. Another stream that we organized for Brad Polumbo. And let me tell you something, this guy did really well on my YouTube channel. And I found him quite interesting because he does give a different perspective to react to these videos. Plus, I always like to comment on these opinions. I recently seen that under one of the last Misha Petrov reactions that these are not the biggest problems that we have right now. And again, I am not trying to address a lot of real problems. I just click on the interesting titles and try to share my rational opinion on what I see. There are some topics that bother me, and obviously, I should probably think that these are not the most dangerous topics in the world. I don't care. Like, I genuinely don't care. This is not what this channel is about. This channel is about discussing what I want mostly. Maybe catching up some of your ideas. So again, before we start, if you have any things that you really want me to discuss, I would like to see them in the comment section. But if you don't, then I'm going to be the one who's picking the topics. I hope I didn't offend anyone. I really didn't mean for it. And I genuinely respect that you share your opinions under my videos because that gives me a sense what I should adjust on. But usually I would then ask for an alternative. If you disagree with something, please offer an alternative. This should have normally been an intro for a stream, but this is now the intro for this video.
Cis gay people as a whole tend to have the most problematic and most hateful opinions.
I am proud to be one of the gays with the problematic opinions, according to this person. All right, you sick people. It's time for your favorite part of the show, where I lose brain cells and react to LGBT cringe from the Clock app. Buckle up and get ready, because we got a couple doozies on deck for today. And don't forget to hit that like button.
Again, the difference between my reactions and other people's reactions. I don't want to offend Brad. This is probably what his opinion is. And to be fair, I do respect it. He seems like a normal guy. But we don't want to just look at these videos as cringe. We want to actually try to analyze and give some rational opinion on them. Right?
Button and subscribe. Up first, this trans TikToker keeps comparing gender to food, and I just want it to stop.
I get a lot of questions about how gender can just be assigned at birth. How do you assign a gender? This is how. So when we're born, we're assigned one of two different sugar packets. There's the pink one for girls and the blue one for boys. The way they determine which sugar packet you get is an educated guess based on your body. So typically when people have bodies like mine, they will give you a blue sugar packet. Now, I held on to this blue sugar packet for many years and I never liked it. In fact, I always thought it was a terrible fit for me. I'm just not an equal person. In fact, I'm more of an enjoy person. But I was given the sugar packet. What am I supposed to do? Now here's the rub. You're given a sugar packet, but you actually have another sugar packet in your pocket that is your true sugar packet. So 27 years in.
Tree sugar? What is tree sugar pocket?
In your pocket, that is your true sugar packet.
Oh, true sugar pocket. Okay, I thought I read tree sugar pocket.
So 27 years in, looked in my pocket and found out, ooh, the pink one was here all along. I actually...
What do you mean looked in the pocket? Like, I do get what this person is trying to explain. They're trying to go against all the rules there exist, but at least I can get... You know, this is not too cringe. This is not too cringe. I'm gonna give them that. I'm just curious what he means by pocket. What does he mean by putting in something in your pocket?
Actually am an enjoy pink sugar packet. So I got rid of the blue sugar packet. Goodbye, and fully embrace myself.
Whoa, what do you mean you got rid of the blue? Like what is required under? See, you say that you are assigned blue. which means that it never was there. It was just a sign. So what do you mean by getting rid? So there actually is something that you have from the blue packet.
As an Enjoy Sugar packet in 2024.
Can we just not? I still have PTSD from when this TikToker talked about their bottom surgery and compared it to food. It's like the food thing.
Oh, don't show me that video, guys.
Consistent theme with
No,
this
I'm not
person.
going to react to it.
I have some issues with the framing in this video as well. Like, your sex is not assigned at birth. It is observed. Your sex is an immutable, objective fact that we can tell from your secondary sex characteristics in almost all cases. There could be very rare genetic conditions, like intersex conditions, where the doctors might inaccurately assess your sex, but 99+% of the time,
Yeah,
they are
that is
simply
true.
observing.
I mean, that is
and
basically the
objective.
topic. Like, the thing why these debates often have no sense, and why I'm trying to really make less reactions like this, is because Brad is gonna say one thing that is factually true, and the other people will tell him that he's wrong and explain them that, actually those facts don't matter here. And I am going to try to give a rational opinion. And my rational opinion is there is no chance to convince the other person. I don't believe Brad can convince the other person. I don't believe the other person can convince Brad. What I really think can happen is that you can both follow your ways and see at the end of the day who is going to be mostly right. As history stands, most cases show that actually Brad is right, and any interference in, so to say, in this, how do we call this? Let's say in this situation, goes often unpredictably bad, as an end result, I mean. But again, if we're trying to convince, it's a dead end. We're never going to convince. Time will just show them what it actually is.
Clear-cut reality, there is no assigning going on. It really shouldn't be that hard to explain that, well...
Should I text Brad on making a collab with him? Do you think he would respond? Just had this idea in my mind. Might as well write it down.
Objective biological sex is a fact and is immutable. There are some people who experience gender dysphoria and who from a very young age feel trapped in the wrong body, desperately want to be seen and perceived as the opposite gender, and that for those people, if it persists into adulthood, the best thing for them is to live life appearing as the opposite sex, and that they should be free to do so, and other people should accommodate them with respect and dignity. But instead, they have to go into this weird territory of like denying that the objective reality exists and then weirdly comparing it to,
like, I don't really think that Brad even is an anti-LGBTQ person. Like, the thing that he says was normal gay mostly is what he's trying to describe of himself. Like, he actually gives the definition of lesbian, gay, and bisexual and all that stuff. So he's not like totally, so to say, shit talking on that person. He's just he's also trying to do it pretty calm.
food?
I think he mostly does it for the views.
I don't know, man. I don't know, but
Like, one of the reasons, I'm not gonna lie, I also picked this video because it was one of his popular amongst the recent ones, like 24,000, and the next one is, I'm think, gonna have 38,000 approximately, which is more because usually his channel averages around 10, as I saw.
I'm not a
Maybe 10 plus actually, around 15, let's say.
fan of this person's content. Up next, this lesbian TikTok is interesting.
Hi, how are you? I love being a lesbian and going to the gynecologist because it makes for my favorite interaction. Okay, so the first time I ever went to one...
Oh, slowly. Well, let us listen.
She got right down and jiggy with it, and she was like, "Are you sexually
No, I can't. She got right down and jiggy with it, and she was like,
active?" I was like,
really, like, I can get it when not native people say the word like, when it's useless, because English is not their first language. So you sometimes may stumble upon your thinking, what to say, which word to use, and you can try to fulfill this silence or this uh this misunderstanding with using the word like. So example, I'm doing this like, and like, bro, and like, and like, that's the way you use it. But this is supposed to be a native speaker. So listen, let's just count the amount of times she is going to say like. This is actually a super hilarious game I developed recently.
Is interesting.
Hi, how are ya? I love being a lesbian and going to the gynecologist because it makes for my favorite interaction. Okay, so the first time I ever went to one, she got right down and jiggy with it, and she was like, "Are you sexually active?" I was like, "Oh my god, you noticed?" I mean, I dabble. And she was like, "Okay, do you wear protection?" I was like, "No." That's when we played a little Uno reverse, okay? And then she was like, "All right, what about birth control?" I was like, "I'm okay, but double it and give it to the next person." She was like, "All right, what about babies?" And I was like, "I'm not in an economic space to have one, but if you want one, ye and dare I say hot and follow your bliss." She was like, "All right, kiddo, listen up. If you're getting down and jiggy with it without protection, 2 + 2 = you're gonna get pregnant." Oh, and no one's gonna help her. Shorty bae, I'm a fruit by the foot, okay? I'm a grade A carpet muncher. I thought I filled this out on a form out there somewhere, okay? Silly of me. That's when she started to get redder than Larry Lobster, tried to rectify the situation, gave me a little attaboy, a little crispy, wispy high five. At one point, I thought she was gonna give me an award for best ensemble in a female picture only, okay? And the problem is that this happens every single time. At this point, I think I need to start walking in these rooms, say, "Hi, Alaire Thomas, neighborhood lesbian," just so we can save a little time and effort. Anyway, thank you.
So she's
Okay, she only used the word like 9 times, and she used it when she was describing human interaction. So when she was describing what each person said, the doctor went like, then speech, and I went like speech. So to be fair, she isn't completely badly using this word, but why can't you just say, and the doctor said that, la la li, la la la, and then I replied. You don't even need to add the like. You just say I replied, and then you give the speech. We're supposed to be understanding, social problems. Instead, we're stopping on grammar. But that actually bothers me. It genuinely bothers me sometimes.
a lot. She's kind of funny. I'll give her that. And this video is at least partially meant tongue-in-cheek, so I'm not going to overthink it too much. But I do just want to point out that if the doctors took one look at her and assumed she was a lesbian, they would say that's problematic. So I feel like from their perspective, they kind of can't win on this one. But that's not exactly unusual with LGBT discourse these days. Up next, this TikToker has thoughts, and we're gonna.
It's interesting. He didn't also like kill a lot of the time because there's really not a lot of time to kill over there. You mostly have to say, I don't know, a couple comments. First of all, she talked super fast. Second of all, you didn't really quite get what she was saying. So at the end of the day, you just counted her grammar mistakes.
Listen to them, I guess.
Oh, how would I explain drag queens to my kids? Your child is practicing hiding from an active shooter at school on a monthly basis. I think they can handle hearing that some adults like to play dress up.
So that's a
Wait,
lot.
so queer people are those who simply dress up as other sex? That's something I can explain, not gonna lie. If that is what queer means, okay, I can at least tell my children are going to at least understand it.
But these two things aren't related. They are just utterly unrelated. And actually, what I would say is that kids should have neither. Kids don't need to be going to drag shows. Drag is adult entertainment. It is, in most cases, heavily sexual and
Yeah, but let's be honest, technically he didn't say to go and watch drag shows. He said explaining what drag is. I'm not trying to defend the TikToker. I have my own opinions on this. I'm just trying to base my thoughts only on what I know and what I've seen. And what I've seen is that person didn't mention taking the people to the drag shows.
sexualized, and I just can't think of a good
I'm playing a devil's advocate, basically.
reason that a kid really needs to be exposed to that, or why drag queens would really feel strongly that they need to expose kids to that. It's not just dress up, there's more to it than that, and that's really kind of disingenuous. And I actually agree that it is bad that we force kids to do these scary drills that accomplish very, very little, and all in anticipation of an event that is an extreme statistical anomaly.
I would disagree with Brad because when I was young, we usually used to do these things when you are preparing for fire starting in the building. At school, we did it almost every year, I would say. The problem was that we were mostly warned when the alarm is going to go off. So really no one never prepared for a problem. Although in my mind, if they would have prepared us every single time, children, when there would actually be trouble, children probably would have been more frightened. So I guess there is sense of being prepared for training alarms. But still, I mean, you have to be prepared for this stuff. So I'm disagreeing with you on this one, Polumbo.
Won't ever happen in almost any kid in almost any school's life, and so to scare them and traumatize them with these drills, I think does far more harm than good. But again, really has nothing to do with whether drag queens need to perform in front of kids, my dude. And finally, we have another TikToker
Finally,
who
how fast have you been going? It's like half of the video left.
has some feedback for the cis gays and the cis lesbians who are not woke enough, I guess.
Cis gay people as a whole tend to have the most problematic and most hateful opinions, all while being the
Wait,
most
I always keep forgetting. What does cis mean? Give me a sec. Cis person. I genuinely keep forgetting. Ah, no, I don't want to read French right now, guys. Come on. Give me English. Cis, short for cis. Whatever gender you are now is the same was presumed for you at birth. Okay, so I'm cis. Good to know. I just imagine the situation when someone's gonna tell my dad he's cisgender. And they're not going to lie. But the confusion is gonna be big.
fragile part of the LGBTQ community. When I have criticized cis gay men in the past, saying, hey, I kind of feel like cis gay men fetishize trans people, and also the community feels a little bit fatphobic. Cis gay men accuse me of being homophobic.
Everything. Fat phobia, racism, sexism. Let's throw everything over there.
Of being a prude, of being fucking stupid. Sometimes saying, well, you're a fucking girl, so why do you even care what cis gay men do? Similarly, when I say,
Wait, she had something in the...
well, you're a fucking girl, so why do you even...
I'm non-binary and bisexual. I did cis gay man, but okay, lol. Okay, how can someone please explain me this? If you date cis gay man, if that is a gay person, okay, technically, if you no, I don't want to think. I'm sorry, I don't want to think about it. It's useless.
care what cis gay men do. Similarly, when I say, wow, I don't like it when cis lesbians say that non-binary people can't be lesbians. Cis lesbians come out of the woodwork and say that I'm being lesbophobic and horrible because I happen to specify cis lesbians instead of some other part of the community. So here, I'll direct this to all cis gay people, regardless of where you fall in the LGBTQ community. You need to think about who was fighting for your rights in the 1950s and 60s. You need to think about who has been standing beside you since the very beginning.
Who has actually been there when America was built, during the revolution, during the War of Independence, the Civil War, World War II. Who was there for you? The Great Depression. Let's throw everything over there. Why taking the 1950s? Let's go earlier.
And who right now is being treated shittier than you are. And you need to care about it.
There is so much here, y'all. First, I am proud to be one of the gays with the problematic opinions, according to this person. As for the complaints that trans people are fetishized by gay men, I mean, look, in some cases that might be true, and I'm sure that's an unpleasant experience, but you also say that it is problematic if gay men don't want to date trans men, but then you're also mad if they are into it. I mean, again, like, you kind of can't complain in both scenarios. As for the gay community being fat phobic, I mean, yes, in the sense that there are like very extreme body standards and gay men are really concerned with being thin and fit and all that. But I also kind of reject the
Interesting,
concept of
actually.
fat
Never knew
phobia as
about
some
that.
form of discrimination akin to homophobia or racism or something, because in almost all circumstances, being fat is a choice. It's a product of your choices. It's not some immutable characteristic about you you can't change. And so
Again, spot on. He said in most cases. He gives the space for exceptions. I should usually make streams about words and speaking. I think this would be much cooler than discussing LGBTQ. Because really, you can talk about this a couple streams, but eventually it might get boring. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I don't want people to be mean to fat people or anything like that, but holding an opinion about somebody or treating someone differently because of their choices is an entirely different thing than discriminating against somebody because of their immutable traits that they can't control. And it pisses me off that this person is still pushing the non-binary people can be lesbians thing. No, babe, your Delulu is showing again. If you're non-binary, you're saying you reject the idea of being a woman. And a lesbian is a woman who loves other women.
But do non-binary actually, like, again, we're gonna try to Google. We're actually gonna try to Google it. Like their definition. I thought that non-binary basically. Wait, non-binary. Oh, not relating. Holy damn. Okay, so they may feel, but do they identify as men or women depending on the. I thought that non-binary works this way. You wake up and you think, are you a man today or are you a woman? How do you feel? And based on that, you establish, okay, today I'm feeling this and this. Okay, it actually turns out to be pretty different. We learn new stuff. Wait.
So which is it? Are you non-binary or lesbian? Actually, hold up. I kind of agree that non-binary people can be lesbians because non-binary isn't real. So a non-binary lesbian is just a female who is a lesbian and is attracted to other females. Unless it's a male non-binary person, then you just can't be a lesbian. Sorry, not how it works. And don't you dare hit me with the lesbian is non-man who likes non-man. That's sexist. That's regressive. Lesbians are women. They are not non-men. So yes, babe, I'm not surprised the lesbians do call you lesbian phobic or lesbophobic or whatever the term is for saying that, because you kinda are. And I just cannot stand this weird historical revisionism that somehow gay people owe all their rights to trans people. Which also, like, objectively doesn't apply to non-binary people like this individual. There were no non-binary people at the Stonewall riots. Also, the whole idea they were led by trans people is mostly mythical. And actually, it does.
Even those who say that there were gays in ancient Greece or ancient Rome or, ancient civilizations, I swear I never heard of someone saying there were non-binary people in those civilizations.
Doesn't even matter. Because even if we did owe all our rights to trans people somehow, which is just complete ahistorical fiction, but even if we did, that still wouldn't prohibit us from disagreeing with some of the things you're saying or doing now. Anybody who would let loyalty or gratitude for past actions override their ability to logically think and assess and reach their own conclusions on issues isn't a thinking person. They're just an NPC. But I think it's safe to say there are a whole lot of NPCs in the LGBT community these days. All right, everybody, that's it for today.
I mean, Good reaction. Not a lot of cringe actually. Space to think. Moral of the video, guys. Moral of the video. Time will show what's right and wrong. Time. Just do what you're supposed to do. Zeno77 today with you guys. Now again, if you don't like what I'm reacting to, you can always hit the dislike button. Yeah, you can always hit the dislike button. But please, when you're commenting, state what would be a better thing to discuss during the streams. Because again, I don't mind that. I actually don't mind that. I want this channel to grow. I want to hit a milestone. And I can only do this with your help. So please, if you have something to say, go into the comments section. Put a like if you did like the video. Because, well, if you did, then you see this button will show it to me. I'm just waiting for the bubble. There's the bubble. And also don't forget to subscribe because we won't get to the next high number without those subscriptions. For those of you watching on replay on YouTube, I will see you in my other reactions. Stay safe.